Hi, it's Penny Black and Jill Foster here for another PB&J card class. And today's video is the fourth in a series of four featuring Penny Black's Cute Critter Stamps, part of their new Merry and Joy collection, and combining those with our Snowflake Frame creative die. This is a new creative die, which makes it so easy to create these fun little scenes on your cards, but they have the great detail of that snowflake frame border around the edge to finish them off. So here's a look at the card that we will be creating today. And before we begin, I just wanted to mention I will have a complete list of all the supplies to use, the stamps, the dies, the markers, the marker colors, inks, everything will be listed up on screen at the very end of the video, so you can hit pause at that time and check it out in more detail. Now, the first stamp that I'm featuring today is the Teamwork. This is a miniature 3x4-inch transparent set by Penny Black, and I am actually just going to be using the polar bear and the penguin portion, and for this card I am not going to use the tree, but you certainly could create a similar card with the tree. I went ahead and stamped this onto smooth white cardstock using Memento Tuxedo black ink, and I'm coloring it in using my Arteza Everblend markers. These are an alcohol-based marker, so I'm following similar techniques as I would with any alcohol-based marker like Copic markers, but I'm keeping the coloring just very, very simple, very easy, and just letting the cute illustration and stamp be the star of the show. So I'm just going to speed things up here for you, add a little Christmas music, and I will be back in just a bit. Alright, so once I was done with all of my coloring, I went ahead and fussy cut out this image. It's very easy to cut out, and just to hide any imperfections in my cutting, I'm just going around the outer edge using a Memento marker in the color of Tuxedo Black. And then I also wanted to add just a little extra dimension to these die cut trees that I colored. So I'm just sponging on some Memento ink using a sponge dauber tool. This is the jumbo tool, just around those outer edges, just to define those more and make them just look a little more finished and dimensional. So to complete my scene, I am going to use our Snowflake Frames creative die set. And I wanted to mention with this die set, it comes with the snowflakes in the center, which you would definitely want to remove for the next step. But you may not want to separate the outer snowflake border die from the inner one, because if you run them through together, you can also cut a rectangular frame that will inlay perfectly inside of that outer snowflake border frame. So this should make sense here when you're looking at it. I first ran this through my die cutting machine with white cardstock, then again with yellow, and I'm using that yellow frame, just taping it in with some Scotch tape to get that really pretty bright pop of color with an inlay look. Now I just hand trimmed this little snowbank from some white cardstock and I taped it in so how easily you can create a snowy scene. Now I'm going to ink my background using Sabor Memento ink. I just wanted a very light sky for this particular image. So I'm just lightly inking that. You can see there that cardstock was kind of a scratch piece, but this is a standard 4¼ by 5½ inch card. I have foam tape on the top and the two sides of this right now when I'm going to put my scene together, and this allows me to slide in those die cut trees and play around with their placement. On the back of those die cut trees, I do have some dimensional foam tape just trimmed really small. You'll see me here. I'm just going to trim some little pieces and stick that back behind there and adhere those down. I wanted the penguin to be putting the star on top of one of those trees and then add a couple other in here just for balance and kind of like they're out in their little Arctic forest. And so I'll just pop this other one in and then add another one here, just varying the heights and sort of balancing out the design. Now I can go ahead and take a piece of foam tape and apply that to the bottom of this frame and then trim away those extra trunks from the trees. So that just made it easier to slide those in and wiggle them around and get the right placement without bumping into that foam tape below. Now for the bear and the penguin, I'll put foam tape at the top and then some liquid glue at the bottom so they sit onto that snowbank, and he is ready to add that star to the top of the tree. Now my sentiment was stamped onto black cardstock and white heat embossed, and I'm just going to add that on with a little liquid adhesive. And this card is complete. So here's another look at all of that great detail that you get with that snowflake frame die. I just love using that and adding these little scenes on the inside with a pop of color with that rectangular piece. And a look here at the finished card. I thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also connect with Penny Black on Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter, as well as our website and our blog, and I will link all of those for you down in the YouTube description box below. And if you stay tuned here at the very end of the video up on screen, as promised, will be that supply list. Thanks again for watching.